Welcome to Mirth, Magic, and Mayhem, the AARPG's new actual play series using the Dragonbane RPG by Free League Publishing. I'm Nathan, your host, co-GM, and I'll also be playing Brains, the idiot Wolfkin thief. Let's meet my friends and fellow cast members.
I'm Malcolm, your co-GM. I'll also be playing Corinne Rhinesmith, the judgy halfling bard.
Hi, I'm Tyr, and I'll be playing Dane Ringson, a human scatterbrain scholar.
I'm Chris, and I'm playing Sigyn, Elfin Huntress.
Hey all, this is Anthony, and I play Kurgan, and he wants to remind you,
you should go and get stuffed.
Hello everyone, this is Sean. Now we'll be playing Baylor Banefire, a dwarf artisan specialist.
I'm Tim, AARPG's latest temporary double seeker probationary player. I play Quiverwing, the enchanting mallard whose spellbinding plumage shivers like distant lightning on a moonlit night.
Together, we'll explore ancient secrets of a long-forgotten empire, facing challenges and forging our destiny in a world where every castle, cave, and crypt holds the echoes of a bygone era. Get ready for an epic journey filled with laughter, suspense, and unforgettable moments in the Misty Vale.
Hello and welcome to the Advanced Age Roleplaying Gamers Podcast. I'm Nathan, I'm your host tonight, and we are playing Dragonbane. This is episode 18?
8,000.
Technically? I don't know.
18, yes.
There is a number associated with this particular
hard.
episode. Math is super hard. But we're having fun, and Matt is
for it, aren't we, boys?
Jesus Christ.
There's that voice.
When you go that loud, you don't have to be that close to the microphone.
I'm
Do
deaf.
not tell Corgan what he can and cannot do.
that $20 mic does not like that. Anyway, but Matt's here with us tonight, and this is probably his last show for a little while. I hope. I mean, yes. I mean, we'll miss. We'll miss him.
So 3 episodes in, I've already worn out my welcome.
I can sacrifice him to the giant spider.
To the spider, yeah.
That wasn't the plan all along.
But anyway, I'm going to stop talking. Like, subscribe, and Malcolm, take it away.
Good evening.
So, Malcolm, is it a free action to put sauce on Matt's character?
Do you have the
duck
sauce
sauce
already out? And is the sauce one of your weapons?
Duck sauce! Duck sauce, you win. You win, Matt.
You do win.
You win. You win.
Almost spit my
But if it
water.
only takes you a free action to do it, man, you gotta feel sorry for your wife.
You've never had it so
It's
good.
only to apply. All right. So we are playing Dragonbane tonight. Our gathering of heroes is currently in the cave of the Oracle and in dire straits. Having made a tenuous alliance with the orcs, which apparently some of them planned on betraying, if not all of them, they have chosen to attack the giant spider, which they believe to be the Oracle, who has been speaking in their minds and had made a bargain with them, which they now betrayed her with the orcs to attack and kill her in the hopes of retrieving a portion of the statuette that they so desperately seek. As we last left off, they were in the midst of fierce combat, and as it came to a head, where they had moved in their second rank in to try and deal with the giant spider, she apparently had called in her own reinforcements as the sounds of many clattering feet of spidery nature could be heard coming from the southern hallway. If I remember placement correctly, Darg, you had moved up to the front, in which to confront the spider with your melee attack, taking along with you Kargan, the other fighter, in the hopes of laying some well-placed blows against this enormous monstrosity. You were later joined, after the first rank of orcs fell, by their captain and 2 other orcs. Siggy, you had stayed back, and Fire was using, just basically, because you're an archer, you were using you have distance attacks, you were using your range attacks to attack them. Quiverwing, I believe you were doing the same with your lightning, with not nearly as successful as you would like.
Not
As a matter of
successful.
fact, in one attempt to try and attack the giant spider, you ended up frying one of the orcs.
Correct.
Accidents
Brain.
happen.
who had also moved up into melee range, attempting to fight, had, I believe, taken some serious blows, but I could be mistaken in my old age.
I didn't get hit yet. I was stabbing the shit out of her.
I guess it's just, wishful thinking. Oh, maybe I too am an oracle.
Oh, no, I took damage, didn't I? I thought I took damage. Yeah. Okay.
And Dane, you would remain trying to take care of, at least trying to keep a hold of Rorik, the 6-year-old boy, out of combat in reserve. You had not moved up. You and Karen were back with a child, as the rest of the forces moved in the room.
Okay.
And that is where I can show you a quick just flash view if you want to see the chamber one more time real quick.
Sure. I'm sure people would love to see that.
Flash us, Malcolm. Flash us.
I'll do what I can. So this is the chamber.
Oh, okay.
The northern entrance, you guys have burned through the web that covered that, and that's where those who are in retreat are there. So Dane, you and Corinne are in that corridor, and Siggy, you are at the entrance of that corridor at the top. The rest of the party is within the chamber itself, along with 3 other orcs, including their commander, Agra. And from the southern passage, you can hear the scurrying of multiple legs heading your way.
Can more than one spider make their way into that corridor at the same time?
From your previous experience, the spiders were a horde, at least that's what they told you, ranging from the size of your hand to the size of a small cat. But the fact that you can hear them now and not yet see them, you may think that this collection of spiders may be considerably larger.
Maybe larger, okay.
And that corridor is not one of those compressed ones. They probably can fit through there. And the thing is, unlike humanoids, they have the ability to climb upon the walls and ceilings, having multiple avenues and surfaces in which to enter the chamber.
Okay. And am I in the southern side of the room? Because I retreated.
Yes, you were in the southern side of the room, understanding that each square is 2 meters in size.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. Okay. And I was given didn't we distribute the oil amongst ourselves after the last fiasco?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
prior to entering the chamber, you guys had distributed oil.
Do I have 1 or 2 little bottles of that, or?
You have 2.
I have 2.
I have 3.
Okay.
And with that, let's begin with initiative. Quiverwing, we'll start with you. 6. Corgan, 2. Brain, 4.
At least give him a number he can count to.
That's my intelligence is 4.
Hey, we're all evens.
Oh, it's because it's Dane. Dane, 1.
Oh my god! All right.
You can feel free to switch it with someone else, maybe possibly.
I absolutely will switch it with one of the fighters first.
Darg, 10.
I switch with Darg.
Okay. And she has so many attacks, we'll just have them all go at the same time. For the giant spider, the biggest spider, we'll say 7. Whoever is coming to reinforce her, 9. And the orcs on 5.
So I go 1, and 1s go first, right? Is it?
That is correct. And currently in front of you, you have the giant spider. She is immense, about the size of 2 ox carts, with great number of, clashing mandibles and reaching arms, clustered of eyes, some of which appear to be clouded over, but the others have a deep sparkling of blue light within them. But yeah.
Did we hurt her?
Yes, you've heard her. As a matter of fact, I believe, I can't remember who hit her, but I think it was Nathan I believe it was Brain who was able to determine that she apparently has her chikiness is not particularly strong. She's just
no armor.
She just has great amount of endurance.
Okay. And I'm there next to some of those orcs as well.
Yes, you have 3 orcs. 2 orc warriors and their captain, Agra.
All right. Darg will raise up his big wooden club and say, well, I'm sorry. I got voted down. And he's going to take a swing at the spider. All right. I am... Oh, okay. No, I rolled a 13, and I have a 14 with hammers.
So that's a hit.
I guess it's a hammer? So it's a hit. And then I just roll, I guess it's roll damage, right?
She will attempt to evade
Okay.
and succeed.
Okay. Does that takes one of her actions though, right? Or does she automatically get to?
No, that just takes one of her actions.
Okay, all right.
But she has like 40.
She happens to have a specific, a particular heroic feat. But yeah.
All right, so I take a big swing.
Okay. Following Darg, it's now Corgan. Your turn.
Well, I throw caution into it, and I launch myself on top of the back of the beast. I take out my sword, and I leap from the safety Darg, and try to impale myself onto the back to go for a wild urban cowboy ride on the beast.
Okay, why don't you just give me a roll? I wouldn't say it, we'll just say either your
Riding?
No.
Use my spider riding skill.
We'll just why don't you either give me either an acrobatics roll or barring that or agility, or acrobatics roll. Try and flip and jump on there.
Well, turns out coming out of these warm cocoon of Darg and trying to do this was actually harder than I thought. As I fail, they roll.
Okay. So, in a surprising action, Corgan leaps and pulls himself, basically draws himself out of the pack and prepares to jump and then leaps in the air, knife up, but unfortunately his leg gets caught in a little strap of web. He flops forward and lands prone, boom, in front of the spider, sword in the ground.
Parlay?
Okay, God. All right, Brain.
So I think I'm gonna switch with, because she goes on 5s, right? Oh no, she goes on 8. What?
The orcs go on. She goes on like 7.
Oh, the orcs go on 5.
Who are you switching with? The orcs, or with the oracle, or with whoever's coming to reinforce her? Actually, anybody whose initiative falls after 4 can go.
All right.
What do you want to do?
Is she still on the ceiling?
Actually, no. She came down. Sorry.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, she rammed somebody, I think, right? Didn't she?
Yeah, she rammed somebody, so she's not on the ceiling anymore. No.
She's gonna squish me, but I want to play the odds and see if we can take her down before she squishes me. So I want to use my backstabbing along with the find weakness.
Find a weak spot is if your weapon is piercing, you can try to find a gap in the enemy's armor or natural armor. You get a hit on the attack, but if it hits, the enemy counts as armorless.
And that's what you did last.
Yeah, I don't need to do that. I can just do the backstabbing, which okay. Yeah. So all right, so that backstabbing. Sorry, I got them mixed up. You think after 18 episodes, I remember what my character can do. Yeah, so actually I get a boon on this backstabbing roll. So
since you have other people there.
Yep.
And it allows you to do it, actually, even.
Shit. I think. Yeah, shit. So I am going to push.
I was going to ask.
I've already got scared. And I'm going to go for angry. I was like,
Your frustration has pushed you to the point of fury. You're terrified, and now you're also angry. So you're sort of conflicting emotions as you look at the very face of the multi-eyed death.
Why won't you die, you creepy beast?
But do you hit her?
No. Fuck me. 17 and 19.
Right.
I see Braden's plans are going to plan.
Okay.
Yeah, no. So, yeah, I failed miserably. I just can't seem to connect with the multi-legged beast.
So, the orcs move in to take their attacks. One will take their torch, the improvised weapon, swing it at her. A free hand, and do damage.
She's going to evade.
She will fail to evade, so that's another one. And is hit by the torch. There's not much of a catching on fire, but she is, she is burned by the flame. The other other two orcs, Ulgra will try and hit her, and the other orc will hold his action. Okay. Despite the spider's movements, Ulgra is able to get a slash and do some damage to it as her scimitar scrapes across it. And that is it for the orcs. Quiverring.
Is Corinne in the south side with me?
No, she's in the north. She's in the north corridor.
Does anybody around me have a torch that's lit already?
There's one at the spider's feet.
I don't think I could get to the spider and back again.
Yeah, there's one of the spider's feet, and
I'm not a torch.
Yeah,
well,
and there
yet.
All right, I'll try and hold him off for a round while I then. Well, is it a free action to light tinder?
No, you just have to make a bush. I think you probably isn't.
Okay.
Because you're trying to start something, so you pretty much because you're having to pull out your flint box or whatever and strike her and get something lit. So that'd be like a bushcraft roll to get that started. So no, it would not be a free action.
But I could do it in one round. I just have to survive a round here.
Yes.
First. Okay. All right. Then my action right now will be to use both of the break them in the left wall and the right wall, and then I'll ready my staff.
Okay.
Facing the quarter.
All right. Do you step into the room anymore, or just stay where you are in the southern?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to hold the line.
Okay.
Not a fighter, but I'm gonna try to hold the line.
Very well. Okay. All right.
I guess I'm technically saving my action for a potential evade. Maybe that's what I'm doing.
Okay. So, it is now the giant spider's turn. With the remaining actions she has, she will do the following. Having sort of a large number of people surrounding her, there is obviously the sense of being, backed into a corner, literally. First, she'll attack Darg.
Great.
She turns and, fixing her numerous eyes upon you, raises up her abdomen and then out of the end spews a sticky, globbing web that flies out at a faster velocity than the matter. You must evade. You can evade.
So I can evade.
You can evade without taking your action. Not an action if you do this.
All right. I need a...
Right. He already took an action this round. He was first.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, this evade, as far as a part of the monster's attack, is not an action for him to do it to evade.
Gotcha.
I need a 12 or less. 8.
Okay. The web flies past you and the other orc behind you and sticks under the ceiling. That is one of her actions. The next is... there's about a few people within her range. She will then rear up, gazing at everyone. You guys have seen this before, where eyes start to slowly glow and you begin to hear a voice in your head. And that will only apply to, as far as the player characters, that will apply to Darg, Bane, and Horgan. And she tries to mesmerize you with her eyes. You just need to give me a will roll to resist.
Okay, did you say Dane as well?
Yes, because this is your first time experiencing it. Didn't you?
I didn't say Bane as well.
Bane. You said Bane.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said Brain is what I meant.
Oh.
Brain. I'm sorry.
So, Malcolm, I got a 6, but I don't know what a will roll...
It should be one of your stats?
Yes.
So, stat, yes. So, my stat is 14.
I've got a Bane on will rolls right now.
Mm-hmm.
So 15 is the higher roll, which is a fail.
Okay. So, you are mesmerized. And therefore, you are terrified by her all-encompassing gaze that you seem to fall into. Why don't you give me a roll on the fear chart?
Ooh.
It appears that you and the two of the orcs, not including Agra, seem to have fallen in the same one.
I got a 1.
You are enfeebled.
Enfeebled?
The fear drains you.
But what's the dice roll do?
And determination. You lose 6 willpower.
Jesus Christ, I think I'm out of
You
willpower.
become disheartened as a condition. That's 3 conditions now.
Yeah.
Both orcs are currently scared.
All right, so Malcolm, this is something we haven't run into before.
Yes.
I am exactly at 0 willpower points. So if I take any more willpower, do I lose hit points? What happens there?
I was looking at that. Well, you can intentionally do that with magic. You can burn health instead of will if you've run out of will. But I don't know what it is if you're actually having will taken away from you. Does it start to eat into your health?
Well, let's take a look and see real quick. Sorry for this quick little stopover.
Yeah. This is an interesting rule thing that maybe people will find interesting.
Will is reduced to 0. Instant death.
Instant death. I love this rule book.
Don't seem to think.
I don't think anything happens. I think it's just without any willpower-based abilities until you recover it.
I think you're just without your willpower-based abilities. What I'm looking at.
All right. Okay. Then I'll be, I guess, trying to recover it next round. Without dying.
Yes, but you are currently enfeebled and therefore drain of all energy and determination as you fall under her.
No, I don't want to die.
And that was that second action, I believe? Yes.
I've made a big mistake.
I'll randomly roll since there are 3 of you that are currently enfeebled or incapacitated to a certain degree. She'll attack Agra, I guess. And she springs forward, slashing with her mandibles like 2 jagged scimitars, ripping into your chieftain, nearly severing her in half as it rips across her chest and then her lower abdomen spills out. Agra roars as she stops one scimitar, grabbing her stomach, and holds the other one up and still stands, shouting at it as she's bleeding all over the floor. The giant spider then turns its eyes towards the archer in the hallway.
Which archer in the hallway?
Once again, she flexes her lower abdomen, firing a sting that flies out. Dear God, Lord. Hold on. His legs shooting out of its repulsive body. Oh. You can attempt to parry this attack, Stiggy.
Let's roll my weapon roll, but I risk damaging the weapon.
That is correct.
Parrying. I'll go for it.
Okay, and what is the durability of your weapon, do you know?
Durability
if not, I can look it up.
Is 6.
Okay.
And I made it quite comfortably.
You
made it by
parry
9.
with your bow?
Yep.
Which shatters.
Well, fuck.
The 15 points shattered. But better the bow than your body.
Jesus Christ.
That would have killed me.
Is it? Because, I mean, that's an expensive bow.
Just put Dane on the list here?
Yes. The bow is shattered and sticky with poison, and you drop it.
Look, you weren't available to say it. Somebody had to.
So I think that's... I have one more. Oh, God. She lashes out with multiple hairy legs at everyone within 2 meters up.
Jesus Christ. She should have shaved.
She should have. And so that means that Darg, Corgan, the three orcs had Brain. Take 6 points of damage.
Ooh, all right. So I got 1 armor, so 5 points.
I have 3 armor.
Not the best roll for 2d8, but
So
it is
3 points of damage.
And Agra goes down. Oh wait, she's an orc. No, I'll make her rally roll. She doesn't need to make a rally roll.
Do you have like orc ferocity or something?
Yeah, they do. And we'll spin the willpower points to keep fighting. Okay, yes, she wavers but stays on her feet still. Once again roaring at the giant spider before her. And that is it. Well, the giant spider, springing into the room at rapacious speed. Come 2 other spiders, which are about the size of a man, the size of Darg. One on the ceiling and one on the roof, are coming your way, are coming down the hall towards you, about to enter. All that stands between them is a mallard and a staff.
Oh, shit.
Oh, this'll be fun.
So what are we playing after Dragonbane?
Looks like this goose is coming.
That was on 9.
That was on 9. And they will run in the room, run towards you. The lead one, the one that's actually on the ground level as opposed to on the ceiling, will ram you.
Okay.
Yes, he just launches his body into you.
I will attempt to evade. Since I saved that action for evade, remember? Right? I'm allowed to do that, yeah? Hey! 6. I made it.
Well, that was fortunate. You evade, and he gets in the room.
Okay. I knew I was going to have to let some of them through.
So he gets through the room. He gets in the room, and for his other ferocity, he will shoot a web at Brain.
Yeah.
So Brain, you can give an evade roll. We'll talk it out. Take an action.
Okay. Well, not okay. All right. All right. I'll make a. Ooh, no, that's a miss. No, I mean it hits me. Yeah, I rolled a 16.
You are caught in a sticky web and are unable to move.
So I'm mesmerized. I'm caught in a web. I'm angry, scared, and disheartened.
The other spider on the ceiling, if not entered, since it's not being blocked, will proceed in the chamber, and then let's see, it will jump down at you, Darg.
Oh.
Slashing with its mandibles.
Good thing.
Doing 7 points of damage with those.
Is parrying a action or a reaction?
It is an action.
Okay, all right.
And he will
so
try
7?
7. Mm-hmm.
So 4. That's not good.
And we'll, let's see, those orcs are down, wavering. Oh, Corgan. And Corgan, it will tear at you with its forward limbs. And you will take 4 points of damage from those piercing sort of reaching hands. So you now have 2 abnormally large, usually large spiders in here, as well as the gigantormous 2-card size spider in here. Okay. Dame?
Well, I will make sure that the boy is okay with Corinne, and I will, hearing the trouble in the cave, go forward. And I imagine I see the scene of carnage before me.
Yeah, we'll say so. Sure.
Do I notice the pool of oil that the mallard has left for the spiders, and have they moved past it?
Why don't you give me that's more like an awareness roll, to be aware that what he was doing, because you're not the most aware person. You make that at a Bane.
Okay.
because you were not in the cave and you're kind of absent-minded. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, it was just a question of whether or not I actually saw what was going on. If it's not readily obvious, then I won't worry about it. I will shoot a spider, whichever one is most visible to me.
Obviously, the one that's the size of 2 carts is pretty obvious, but there's currently a crowd of people in various ways of collapse or death in front of her. And then there's 2 bunches skittered sort of in the middle of the room.
Okay.
It's probably the quickest target you can see right away that's unobstructed from your view.
All right, and I will attempt to make the shot armor piercing by taking it at a bane.
You were informed because Brain shouted it. Says it doesn't have any armor. I can just stab right through it. So
okay then.
Probably won't give you any bonus to do that.
All right, then I will just take a shot with it.
Okay. I'm assuming you shot at that Brain. I'm not sure. But
yeah, you did.
A 2. So yes, I hit.
Okay.
D12 plus D4. 9 points of damage.
There lodges in its body. Whoa.
Ooh. Okay. And I will
with a resounding satisfaction.
I will just try to stay in cover as much as possible.
Okay. And I believe we are into another round?
Yes.
So initiative again.
Right, Malcolm,
yes.
I would like to use my special ability. I have Veteran, and if I read it correctly, it says that I can spend a willpower point to maintain my same initiative.
Mm-hmm. You can.
Okay.
And you had a 1, correct?
I had a 1.
Okay.
Now, I could spend that to retain it. Can I trade it? If I, it's still mine. I could trade it, right? I've spent the willpower.
You are choosing to retain it, and I don't believe there's any rule saying you trade it once the combat starts. You just.
I might not. I'm just thinking, Tim, or are the? Well, maybe I should ask the GM. So, are the 2 spiders close enough together that he could hit it with chain lightning?
They're about normal size, so yeah, he could probably still hit them both with. No, he can't.
No. Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate the idea. Sorry, it won't work. I don't have enough willpower.
Okay.
Plus, I'm inside.
He doesn't have so much power inside as he does out. That's one thing I mentioned.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
But are you spending the willpower to hold on to it?
Yeah, I'm going to keep the 1. Yeah, okay. I want that 1. Yeah.
All right. That way I can just do it without shuffling that one in. Okay. Quiverwing.
A 3! Yay!
Got his name. Horgan. 5.
Thank you.
Brain. 10.
Yeah, fair.
Okay. Siggy. 6. Dane. 9. And we'll go with, I guess it's only just, I guess we'll put Corinne in the mix. Oops. Is that a 7?
It was a 7, yes.
7. And for the spiders, they will all go on 4. Or I can have them break them up. I can break them up if you like.
Mm-hmm.
That could be nice. That may be nice. And have the big spider will go on 8.
An 8. Okay. Quick question for you.
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning of the last round, you said that we could hear spiders in the southern hallway.
Those are the 2 spiders.
Can we still hear more spiders in the southern hallway?
No. I mean, now that you can hear, now there's so much noise in here, you cannot hear any more advancing at this point in time. Not as loud as those first 2.
Okay.
It doesn't necessarily mean there's not more. It's just that actually, why don't you give me an awareness roll?
Awareness.
Not as an action, but just as an awareness roll, since you're taking the time to say and make note of that.
Run away! Save yourselves!
Oh, that's right. 1 is good in this game, isn't it?
Yep.
Yes.
I rolled a 1 for awareness.
So a dragon. Okay.
I was about to say, oh.
So check on
yes, that. You you do hear other movement down the hallway. It appears to be some distance and is noticeably not the same heavy sort of scratching, like large feet moving along this thing. It seems probably smaller, but probably more in number.
Okay.
But definitely more are coming.
Okay. So the plan that I was enacting still has some value.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's all I was worried about. Do I have to? I mean, did I waste my first round? Basically, is what it came down to. It sounds like I did not waste that first round. It still has value.
Yeah, unless you fail.
Unless I fail. Right.
just put that out there.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
All right. So, Darg.
All right. So does anybody have anything really clever they might want to do first that I should give up switch with them, or should I just swing at the big spider again and hope she doesn't evade?
I do, but it's could only be helped if she doesn't move first. So.
Oh, do you go after her?
I think so. I go on 6. She goes on what?
She goes on 8.
Oh, so I should be fine.
The other 2 spiders go on 4.
All right. Well, I guess I'll just. So he's going to go before her anyway. Should I take out one of the ads or try to hit the main spider? What do you guys think?
I think the main spider is probably
she has like a billion attacks.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I'll try to hit her again with my big stick.
Okay.
And I'm gonna. What is it? How you get to roll again if you take a thing, right?
If you take it,
push it. I'm gonna push it.
Okay, take a condition.
I am going to become disheartened because I'm frustrated. I swing, I can't hit.
Well, frustrated is one too, isn't it?
No, it's disheartened.
Disheartened.
All right, I am going to try again because that was an awful roll. Oh, and I will make it just barely. Got a 14.
Okay.
So I hit.
She does not attempt to evade.
Okay, I think that's a mistake. All right, so I do bludgeoning damage, and so I got to roll the weapon damage, and then I add my strength damage, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
This might be a mistake.
Well, not with a roll like that. Okay, I'll take that. So 12 points.
That was a mistake. She reels from your blow for your club.
All right. Hope whatever you do works, Chris, because I just made her mad.
We've done like 60-some points of damage to her so far, so.
All right.
Quivering.
I'm going to roll bushcraft to light my flint.
Okay.
11. I have it at 14. I made it by 3.
You're able to strike the sparks, hit the oil, and you see them. It seems like a plethora of countless tiny eyes lining the entire corridor, and the first skeletal bodies. Some of these actual spiders are the size of a small house cat. Others the size of their head. All just sort of reel back as the flames fill the passage.
We did something good. I am saving the rest of my actions and movement.
No, you can't. You don't have any other actions.
Yeah.
It was your action.
Bushcraft was an action? Oh.
Bushcraft was an action because you lit a fire. You can move. That's no problem.
Instead of moving, can I hide?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, all right. Then I will stay here.
Okay.
I'm hoping somebody will throw me their oil at some point, eventually. In fact, I'll say that. That's a free action. Throw me your oil!
It's so nice that you're trusting with someone. All right.
Lend me your ears.
Do you have a bow you can throw me? I'll trade you.
Did he say call me a moil?
Yes, I did.
The other 2 spiders will now go, since you went on 3, and they will go on 4. The same web shooter will try and fire again at a new target. Darg, you just need to make an evade roll. I don't know why I'm even rolling anything.
No.
You are ensnared by web.
Oh. What does that mean?
That means that you are tangled by spidery webs and sinew that sort of cover your whole body, trapping you to the floor. You are standing up, unfortunately, luckily not prone, but you are unable to move.
Okay, so I can't. Can I fight?
You cannot move. No.
Okay.
All you can do is you can make a strength roll to try and break free, as an action. But
as an action, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I already took my action, so I'm all gummed up.
The other spider will I'll try and we'll have to jump down and move towards the northern corridor, attacking one of the 3 people there. 4 people there, I guess, if you include the child. Attack Corinne? Yeah, quite pathetic. But barely missing her, only doing 1 point of damage. It's a sad, pathetic roll. Slashing at her, which she helps. Okay, and that's their 2 actions they're taking. They're going to hold actions for defense. Corgan.
Just curious, above the cave, are there like, what does it look like above the...
Stalactites.
There's stalactites hanging up in the high ceiling, and they can be used in some way, I think.
Yeah, you can push things up.
Throw people into them.
Yeah.
Yes, you can shove enemies into even stalactites, apparently.
But right now, I'm underneath the beast.
And the spiders are besides the big spider that you probably cannot shove, the other spiders are about considered normal sized opponents as far as like normal sized people. They're unfortunately very large spiders, about the size of a person though, but you could still push and shove them and kick them upward towards the stalactites. And
the big spider's on the ground now.
The big spider's on the ground.
But yeah, you can push
You have
them.
1 spider on the ceiling, and then another spider on the. You have 3 spiders in here. 2 are normal size that can be affected by this attack. Which basically you just have to make, just do a shove.
But right now I'm underneath the actual large spider.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm gonna continue running towards underneath it with my sword up there, trying to split it open or attack or swing at it. And I hit.
Okay, I will try to evade after taking that damage from Darg. Was a terrible idea. Demons do suck.
Ooh. What does that do for...
Demon and melee. I don't know if it's her attacking or not. It seems to be mostly geared to the attacker. But you know what? I'll just. Normally it's only for the attacker, but we'll just go with what I rolled anyway, which is she's managed to expose herself, which will give you a free attack that cannot be dodged or parried against you.
And as I'm rolling, I'm like, does anybody got butter? We're gonna have some spider legs.
So, Kurgan, you can roll your damage for this attack and make another attack.
Oh, fuck.
She gets no defense on too, if you want to do it.
Shit, I want to get a good attack. It's some sword. I think it's a short sword.
Okay. Short sword is a D10 plus your strength bonus.
Plus your strength bonus, which should be the damage bonus you see.
Okay.
Under strength, so.
That's a total of 11.
Ooh. Second Joia. And that's just from the first attack?
Yeah.
All right, and...
So,
all right, you're going to make a second one?
Yeah. Let's go for it. I failed the second attack.
Okay. Push it.
But by this point, am I near the abdomen?
You were making constant movement to go under it
Yeah.
and do this, yes. Okay. And with your diminutive size, you can. Just remember that you can spend 3 points of willpower because you're halfling to activate your hard to catch ability, which gives you a boon on your evade roll.
Fuck yeah!
Okay? Right, just remember that.
Yeah.
That ability.
Cool.
Okay. Dane.
No, 6.
6
is Siggy.
I don't go until 9.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got this also slide. It's. Oh, I'm sorry. I must have pushed you a card up. Okay. 9. I did 6s.
6. Yeah, but I'll just see today because why not? So the big one is still standing by the torch that was last thrown at her, correct?
Yes, as a matter of fact, there was a torch thrown at her. Yeah, and it's still sitting on the floor. As you saw Kurgan sort of slide under her and just start stabbing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to throw my vial of oil or jar of oil at her.
Okay.
Hopefully set her ablaze.
Okay.
What do I need to roll for a throw jar?
For throwing a jar, I'm just going to make you make an agility roll. I don't think
I didn't even have to. I just...
Well, you weren't aiming... you weren't aiming at a target.
You were also trying to smash it against the cave wall.
Yeah.
As opposed to a moving cave wall.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah.
So agility 16, I feel pretty good. 2.
No, that's great.
2. So it's a hit, but
wait, Wait. I'm confused now. Did you roll a 16 or you 16?
No, my agility is 16. I rolled a 2.
Okay. All right.
It's because the 2 is right next to the 20, which is what made me nervous.
You think it's going to miss it?
Yes.
She will attempt to evade. That will not succeed. No, will definitely not succeed. And she's hit by it.
Does she catch fire from the oil? Yes.
The oil catches fire. Roll me 2d6 damage.
6. 10. Jesus.
Okay. Smash the oil and near the torch, it erupts, moving over all little hairs of her body, catching flame, and as well as some of the webbing that she has between her legs and around her body, and all just sort of burns. There is that horrible screaming that seems to emit that you can all hear in your mind. As well as this loud rasping by the giant spider body as all of its legs flop around. As it said, Morgan, you give me an evade roll, that a boon.
Break my bow, will you, you bitch?
You rolled a dragon? It seems beyond belief, but almost the most amazing thing you've seen as you see the giant spider kicking her legs and sprawling around in circles that somehow Curtin just sort of dives, rolls, pivots, dodge, and eventually she rears up and then falls backwards. And maybe an attempt to try and put out the flame, but falls, and her legs begin to slowly curl in as the body steams.
And the smell.
We killed the oracle that protected the town.
You didn't say she was dead yet.
Yay!
And the voice you just hear echoing in your mind and fades.
Oh, should have been, as I foresaw.
The other 2 spiders, as she falls crispling on the ground, spring upon her and begin consuming her body.
Onto the burning spider corpse?
Yes, well, the parts they can get to. They begin ripping
Yeah, maybe
out.
whoever won
Keep
consumes
killing
the
them.
soul.
Keep killing them. I literally shout that out. Keep killing them.
Keep killing them. So, people who had an initiative of 9?
9. That'd be me. Do I have a clear shot on one of the person-sized spiders?
Yes, particularly when they're silhouetted by flaming big spiders.
Actually, no, seeing that they're on a flaming spider, I think...
They're not really on it, they're just sort of like pulling apart.
What I think if I threw more oil on that, would it engulf them as well?
They're much more spry, it's possible, but...
No, I'll just shoot with the bow. I'll shoot the one I shot before.
I was saying they have used their actions.
Yes, I rolled a 5, so I hit the one I hit before.
Okay.
9 points again.
Jeez.
Exact same roll.
It will stop feeding and spin. Turning towards you. I forgot. You went on 9s, didn't you? I forgot about Agra. Sorry. She will slice at it too. Giving it a nice hit. It reels. She's still holding in her stomach. And 10s.
I am going to take a round rest to regain some willpower.
In case you're not going to try and break out of the web, you're going to just stay comfortably in there.
I'm just going to...
As the fire creeps ever closer to you.
Like how close...
I'm just asking.
Asking for a friend.
How close... Well, the fire could burn it off, but how close is the fire?
There's all the oil they're spilling, and it's just like... There's the one from the tunnel.
All right, I'll try and break out. How do I break out?
Oh, you're fine. You can sit there and regain your will.
No.
You're okay.
You set the scene
I'm
that
just
there's.
making you aware of the situation.
Yeah,
You're immobile and you're in a flaming web and there's fire. I'm just saying, you know.
I'm fairly strong, so let's do this.
Now's the perfect time to learn to meditate.
Namaste.
And
So
you
do
are
I-
currently frustrated, scared,
Angry, scared, disheartened, and whatever the
and sticky.
and sticky.
Sticky.
I'm used to that.
Yes, that's traditional Nathan right there.
So how do I break out of the web?
We need a strength.
Nathan Classic.
All right, so I just have to roll under. I can't use my knife or anything.
Successful strength roll with a bane.
Fuck. All right.
Unless someone's helping you, which, you know, then no one's helping.
Nobody's
I was helping by throwing fire.
I'm stuck too, so.
All right. Well, okay. So why not? I'm gonna push it because I rolled a 17.
Oh my god.
Oh God! Change your fucking dice.
Can you trade in 4
I rolled a 5.
situations for an insanity or?
Is there? I mean, okay.
I'm gonna go for dazed, and I'm just like exhausted from all the strenuous everything that's going on.
You do
and the
understand
smoke.
you do understand that you're under two
Banes.
banes for your strength roll, right?
2 banes?
Well, yes.
Well, you're exhausted.
One from the attack does that.
I'm not-
You're
yeah.
also exhausted.
No, I'm not
Or
exhausted.
not too big.
Oh, you're not exhausted?
No.
Okay, then fine.
No, I've got everything else except for exhausted. But just that. No, I'm not exhausted.
Oh my goodness. I didn't realize you were sickly too.
Jesus fucking Christ! I got a fucking demon.
Do you want to go for exhausted?
No, I rolled a demon. So
Oh,
so I guess that whatever the demon.
I see your disappointment and raise you an exhausted.
The web just gets tighter.
just get tighter. And the flame does actually be able to catch you.
Okay.
Right on the crotch. Right.
I'm like trying to kick at the flames. Jesus fucking Christ.
Do you want to become a miserable beast? Because this is how you become a miserable beast.
My head panel, my beautiful wooden head panel.
And you'll take 2 points of fire damage through armor
All right.
as the web catches fire.
Jesus.
All right. So I guess we're back to initiative, unless you want to keep your spell the willpower.
I'm going to spend my willpower another point.
Okay.
To,
Keep yours.
I have a lot of willpower. As long as I calculated it correctly, I have a lot of willpower.
The character has a lot of willpower.
Yeah, not this guy. So I need to do the same thing, right? As I need to try to make a strength.
as he's eating like a deep fried croissant burger.
Dipped in chocolate and cheese.
So strength, I'm just rolling under my strength, right?
Yes, it's at a bane.
That's
so you
easy.
roll two. So you roll two. You roll
Oh,
two
at a bane,
d20s.
okay.
And choose the worst of the two.
All right. So the first one is a 2. And the second one is a 17 exactly. That's my strength.
You break free of the sticky webs.
Okay. Can I move?
And you can move, yes.
I will move over towards Brain
Okay.
since I see him struggling.
Like, struggling less and less as it is.
As I watch him somehow choking himself with the web.
Yeah, it's kind of like looking at a, you know, his ears are flat back and he's got this sort of pitiful, whiny look and he's just sort of struggling sideways, but he looks just spent trying to get out of this thing. All right.
How did he get the Franks above the beans?
That's basically what this is.
Okay, Quiverwing.
Yeah.
4.
Okay. So at this point, we really only have one effective, right? And that's
you have 2 effective spiders.
Oh,
well,
I thought
one's still consuming, one's turned around. Yeah, 1 effective.
Okay.
And those who are stuck outside, I guess.
Right, and people who are self-immolating in the corner. Right.
Well, they haven't really started, but okay, yeah. Corgan, 3. Brain, 10.
Yay. All right.
Dane, 6. Siggy, 5. Karen, 9. Let's see. And spiders, 8. Okay.
Did you draw one for Agra?
And nobody threw me.
No, I didn't.
Nobody threw me in oil, right?
You for Agra. No one threw you in oil.
I wasted mine killing the giant spider. I'm sorry.
I have them, but I'm shooting spiders.
Okay, so Dark is gone. Agra will withdraw.
We win! No.
Will withdraw to the northern corridor.
That's where I am.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the mouth of.
That's all. She's just moving, and she'll hold their action thereafter.
She's just moving and bleeding.
Moving and bleeding. Okay, Oregon.
Yes. Well, I'll approach one of the man-sized spiders.
Okay, one is feeding on the body of the big spider. The other one has turned its back to you to face the northern corridor where it was attacked from. And it was later. Both of its attackers are in that direction now.
Yeah, being a noble fighter, I immediately stabbed that one in the back as fast as possible. Let's see a roll. I get a 3. I get the roll.
Roll to roll damage. I will.
I get 1
I don't
billion
see myself being in a position to evade just yet.
Rolling with 8 points of stabby.
Jeez.
That's okay. I've had a bunch of shit rolls, so I'll take these. Oh, bad rolls. Sorry, Nathan.
Yeah, you don't want to offend his sensibilities.
Yeah.
Shit is where you draw the line? That's it? Shit.
It is a solid hit. You stab it in the back, scratching it down. It plumples partially to the ground, trying to stand up and wobble, but apparently it's on its last leg of its life.
Well, good, because it's got 7 others.
Quiver wing.
And nobody threw me in oil, right? So just want to triple check.
I don't go soon enough to throw you oil. By the time I throw you oil, your turn would already gone.
Okay.
And it's going to be one of those,
I will take a round rest because basically I need to have some willpower to be more effective in the battle. So I need to recover some willpower. So I'm going to take a round rest.
Fine, wizard. Fine.
Rolled 5 on the D6, so I will recover 5 willpower.
Okay.
Can't he just drain the willpower of others?
Only
I don't think he has that spell.
You.
Not yet. Siggy.
Gee, the one that just got stabbed in the back. I guess I will run up and dagger it.
Et tu brute?
In the front.
Yes.
Just keep things balanced.
Well, I'm hoping you got stabbed, turned around, going, what the fuck, and then I stab it, but whatever happens. 9, so that's a success.
Okay. I'm going to attempt to evade you because things are looking dire.
Much like a kick me sign. Who stabbed me? Whoa, who stabbed me?
Okay, well, that's not going to do with an 18.
No, that'll do just nicely. Damage-wise, oh shit, it's D8. D8. Hold on while I get the right die out.
And don't forget to add your strength bonus if you have one.
Yes. D8 and a D4. So we got... shit damage. 4 damage.
You strike, swift and quick, in your elven way, but you just happen to skirt off the side of its chitin and there's a gash. But, it's Not quite the hit everybody else got, but you're still, you're still a part of the team. You're making some progress.
Yikes.
You're there. Okay.
Should have thrown the damn thing.
And it sort of just looks at you as it turns slightly, wobbling, lurches and leans towards you, and then falls over. And dies.
Too much stress here. Too much stress.
All right.
Here I was like, oh god, how much health do I have?
All right, Dane.
So there's one active spider left, yes?
One active spider consuming the other spider that's now going out.
And that's the one I shot before.
No.
Oh,
The
this
one
is
that
the
you
one.
shot before, she just killed with her dagger.
Okay. And I'll reach back with the bow and I'll just grab a flask of oil. What was I supposed to? Who wanted oil?
I do.
Oh, and I'll throw it to Quiverwing.
It was basically concentrating, so he's like...
And now you've covered the duck in oil.
Wait till I can catch it, you... So you throw it at Quiverwing, all right.
Yeah, he doesn't. He really didn't remember. So
Quiverwing,
Yes.
you can... I'm not really sure how much of your attention that occupies.
It doesn't really say. It doesn't talk about whether it's a concentration thing or not. I was looking at it. Well, let me find it again here. During a round rest, you recover only 1d6 willpower, no hit points. You can only have one round rest per shift.
Yeah, just do it.
So there isn't any
Yeah, just give me an agility roll.
15. I rolled an 8.
Okay. You catch it.
Okay.
You've got oil.
I have oil.
So the other spider just sort of, shifts a little bit so it can watch all of you, but it can still continue to consume the larger spider's body. And I guess Corinne will try and, she'll simply just say, I really would like to help you, Agra, but I just don't have that skill set. So very sorry. I hope you don't bleed out here. I mean it. That's it. So that's her action. She'll just do that. Talk petty to the orc, and we will end initiative there. Except for 10.
Yep.
It was 10.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
you were.
Yeah.
Try,
Did you figure out some way to hurt yourself again?
do you want to burn the door, or do you want to try your strength at a bane?
I'm just gonna do a round rest again, and am I still on fire?
Yes. No.
You're still on fire. You're still on fire.
All right, no, I guess I gotta struggle and try and get out of
The
this.
fire
thing.
hasn't gotten.
Can I assist or something? Or
Next time, yes. Basically, this round you can't, but you'll be able to help him out. Everybody will be able to help him in a second. But do you want to try anything?
Oh, I did it! Yay!
You break out of your.
Rolled 11 and a 3.
And you're out.
Did you see what I did, guys? I helped distract her.
He
Yeah.
looks all sweaty and he looks horrible and
You
drained.
couldn't have done that without me. I'm fine.
He doesn't look fine.
I move away from the fire. And I find a wall and collapse.
Your head panel is smoking.
Right.
Your head panel smoking. And the rest of you, will sort of drop out of that immediate combat danger. The other spider, unless you wish to antagonize the spider, the largest spider is completely consuming the other one. The other spiders outside the hallway are inching closer and waiting for the fire, the flame, which is slowly, could go out soon. But Quiverwing, you can just resplash some more oil in there if you'd like.
Yep.
It starts up and they withdraw, but you can see there's just a ton of these little tiny spiders which are just sitting outside the ring of fire. Occasionally one tries and burns, entirely. Burns up. Trying to get through it.
Now, of the orcs, first of the orcs, is it only Agra that's left?
It's only Agra's that's left, and she's talking to Corinne. But yeah, you can, Dane, you can hear her. You can hear what she's saying. Not. Karen stopped talking.
Who amongst my friends is the most harmed?
prophecy.
Do I make a medicine roll to find that out?
Visually looking, you think it might be brain. Only because he's a pile of just mess on the floor.
I think that child spit up on me. Yeah,
I'm not sure if any. I mean, as far as Dark is obviously injured because he's got some blood in him, as well as Kurgan. But I mean, Bane just looks the worst.
Did you say he has some blood in him?
On him,
okay.
In him too, probably yes.
Lots of blood in me.
And Agra looks like the worst, but she's not your immediate ally. But Dane, you can hear her telling Corinne. She just says, "Of course you don't know it. I was wrong. I suspected treachery from you, Dakin. It is your nature. You support the Demon Lord. At least some of you do. And even the fact that some of you do puts you in suspect."
I walk back to the conversation.
She goes,
are you going to help your friend?
Well, she's not my friend. I know nothing about healing.
Well,
I'm just so sorry. There's nothing I can do.
But I do.
I mean, she's not in my network.
Hold on. I put my bow down and I perform healing.
Do you really?
Yeah, and I have bandages, so that gives me a boon. Yes.
The problem is that the medicine skill. The problem is that the medicine skill doesn't really give them hit points back.
Oh.
It just prevents them from dying.
Okay.
That's what would be helpful.
I'm not. I gotta have to tell you, I'm not terribly good at this, but I read a book about it once. So hold on.
Nobody that you failed on ever complained.
I got a dragon.
Ooh. Oh. Well, why don't you give me just a 1d4 roll then?
Okay. 4.
The color seems to return, whatever color that was, and she seems to have regained some sort of vigor. Thank you.
As he's working on her, he'll start just humming a like a child song in Orcish.
She will smile at that. What's odd is Rorik begins singing the words in Orcish.
Huh.
Which she turns and he just and she just sort of looks. Corinne will leave you guys. Leave you with Agra and go and take her bit of oil and just start splashing it on the lower half of the cave that she can reach to keep the spiders out.
Is no one concerned about the giant person-sized spider that's still in the room with us?
It just continues consuming. Are you looking at it? I mean,
well, now that I'm done healing, sure.
Well, he's healing.
Well, yeah. Why don't you give me an awareness roll, Siggy, since you're watching it?
So awareness, yeah, made it by 1.
You do notice it's just eating. There's nothing more to it. Because Corinne is only 3 feet high and a halfling, she can only cover the bottom part of the cave. So eventually the spiders do come in through the top ceiling. But they all move across the whole entire ceiling, ignoring all of you, and then moving to the body and begin consuming it.
Then I will start looking around the room for anything else that stands out.
Well, she's in the front of that sort of indention. Behind her, there's a whole entire swath of webbing and so forth, and obviously some sort of objects under it. But,
none of the webbing burned when she burned?
She was actually more in the center of the room when that happened. Because she moved out to attack, and Kurgan went behind her, so she was out. So she was not actually in her webbing when it happened.
So I'm going to circle around behind her to see if they react to my movements in any way or just keep feeding.
They seem to not even notice you as they continue consuming her.
Then I will try and investigate the crap in the webbing.
Okay. Well, why don't you give me a spot hidden?
Spot hidden. 6. Out of 11.
Pretty good.
Aren't we supposed to be looking for a statue?
Yes.
Shut up.
Statue.
It depends on who says that. How loud do you say it?
Darg. I mean, Darg would...
The one that looks like the one that's in your satchel?
Darg would probably, yes. Darg would probably ask.
But Darg wasn't looking for the statue.
But
no, you guys are.
Yeah, I don't think he knows
They
about
told
that.
me and showed me their piece.
What?
But did we?
They were real forthcoming with everything.
Didn't this all happen in the week I was away?
Yes, brains. I mean, Dane.
Oh.
So, total, let me just dial you. Basically, there's a total of 6 treasure cards that you find in there. We'll just randomly draw them. 1, I'll just deal them out. 2, 3.
Siggy, you weren't hurt, were you?
Oh, this is...
No, I was not.
Okay.
I'm missing a bow, however. That hurts.
I have a short bow you can use.
Short bow.
All right, the cards.
It's better than nothing.
Let's see. 1 is silver coins.
How many?
And you guys get 20 silver coins.
Okay.
Some gold coins. Essential number. Gold coins.
Bow replacement fee.
80 gold coins.
Holy shit! I don't tell anybody about the gold coins
let me
that I
correct
found.
that. Correction. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. A gold bracelet that's worth 80 gold coins.
Wow. Much easier to hide.
Yes. Especially because I already have an heirloom bracelet.
Some silver coins. Total of... A total of 60 silver coins.
So total of 80 now.
Daddy's getting some new soup.
A melee weapon.
Oh.
We'll roll. If you guys, someone roll me a 1d6.
1d6 is... Oh.
No, doesn't matter.
Chris, go ahead.
Oh, okay. 4.
Broadsword.
Ooh.
Couldn't have been a bow, could it?
Yeah, seriously. But he said melee weapon.
And some more gold coins. Jeez.
Wait. More gold coins or another gold trinket?
actual gold coins. Sorry.
Okay.
Actual gold coins. Okay. And there are 17 gold coins. Last one is a ranged weapon.
Oh, thank God.
Roll 1d. No, I'll be kind. I will be benevolent. And it is a longbow made of supple wood of almost silvery color.
Ah, brilliant.
With various inscriptions that seem to depict phases of the moon.
Oh.
Ooh.
Nice.
Anything else? Does she find anything else? Anything else?
She made her spot hidden.
Yeah.
Yes, and because I know that some character had a vision of where it was, but I don't know who that
This is
was.
Tim.
It was me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. I wouldn't know where to look for that.
So you do have to make the spot hidden roll, and you do find
I will make the spot. Hold on. I'll
Not
roll
you.
it. I'll roll it.
Tim.
Ooh,
Tim.
I rolled a demon. No.
Quiverwing does not have to make it. He can just go in there and find
Oh.
it. She doesn't know where it is. And if you haven't shared it with her, she's just going to have to go search.
Well, if I see that she's searching and she is my best friend, I will say, "Hey, over there by the larger spider that's currently regurgitating parts of its mother, underneath of him, you'll find something that we want."
I just look over.
He doesn't actually regurgitate anything. He starts to, but then quickly eats it back up.
Mom.
Love you, Mom.
Tastes like home.
Families, am I right?
I miss you so much. Oh, it's so delicious.
Well, then I will surreptitiously try and grab and pocket the statuette piece.
I see.
Hopefully hiding it from the view of Agra.
Well, since you're not coordinating with anybody else, why don't we just give me just a sleight of hand roll?
A 2.
Ooh.
That is hopefully a success.
Do you actually have that skill?
Sleight of hand, I haven't had an 8.
Wow.
You think you've slid the piece of the statuette surreptitiously into your pack or your pouch.
Huzzah!
Do you look back at Agra or not?
I will call out, there's nothing else here, and I will look back at the entire party at the back at the north entrance. Not specifically at Agra, but generally.
So we should get out of
it's
the
like
other...
she's staring right at you.
We should go out that other entrance before the other little spiders get...
The north entrance is the one that doesn't have the spider. The slump. Well, we should probably get some way out of here before they come back.
Yes.
I'll repack Rory back into his egg sack.
Give me a dilly roll. Yes, he runs the room. Look at the spider.
Oh God! All right, so I have a 15.
No, you grab. You're able to.
Oh, okay.
He's fucking with you.
Oh.
It's a little bit,
which is a good thing because I rolled really bad.
Wise wildly, you're able to grab a hold of him and get him back in the thing, and he's like, "Spider!"
Excellent.
And he just looks at you and goes, "They need to eat her so she can come back."
Oh God.
Dog.
Yes.
Assist Agra. Maybe you can help convince her that we are not in favor of the return of the Demon Lord.
Oh, okay. All right. We are not We're not with the Demon Lord. How was that?
Very, very convincing. Good job.
Yeah, I believed you.
Shall we cross the bridge and get out of here?
I think so.
Yes, we shall cross the bridge together.
I think the safer route
warriors
is to
we face battle with defeated foes, and nobody likes the Demon Lord.
Yeah. I'll cross with the elf.
Uh-oh. Guys, I'm a little tired. I'm going to go last.
I'm really tired. I want to go home now.
The best way is across the bridge and up the stairs.
Okay.
We can leave through my fort. Otherwise, you'll either drown or die.
I think the other way is better because we want to go back to the town. If we go through the fort, it's a longer trip back to the town. Isn't right, guys?
Yeah, we want to be able to go back to the town so we
Yes.
can tell them about the status of their oracle.
Feel free to go the other way. I'm sure there's something you can find there that will be helpful.
Oh. Is it possible while I'm exiting, I can grab a spider leg or at least a tip and just proof of a trophy, as it were?
You can probably buy a chunk of one of the spiders, yes. Do you want the big spider chunk? That may be a bit risky because they're kind of really trying to make a point of consuming that. But yeah, you can grab something, yeah. Just so you can. Siggy, when you get parallel with her, she will lean over to you, Olga, and says, "Please take no offense, but the elderkin of the day are much more trustworthy than the humans. There's none among you or among the cult."
I assure you we are not working to benefit the cult.
I will tell the chieftain. At least they're your names. That way she will know you are allies.
We appreciate the goodwill.
I think if you had been better at fighting, we might have been. You were good. I can't say much for the rest of them.
I don't understand why anybody listens to the dog.
I was scared when you guys all sort of sprang into his action. I just figured he must have been somehow made leader because he pissed on everything or something. I had no idea this worked.
Oh, I'm getting all webbing all over my boots.
It's a wonder he's made it this far, truly.
Suede will help you get that off, she says. See, they believe anything. So, unless you betray her, which you're still able to do.
I'm not planning on it. I'm planning on seeing her healthily out to the fort.
And I'm assuming you're going to help each other with ropes. You'll get across the deep chasm, back up the stairs, where there are only you only encounter 3 orcs in the actual fort. When you get up there, she said the rest are apparently on patrol or something. But she will take her, say her farewells. She'll send her runner to her chieftain, later, but we'll ask your names so that her clerk can record them.
Then I will go ahead and name all our people. And
Wait, is that Corinne of Saddlewood?
yes, I see you've heard of
Yes,
her.
we're familiar with her. Short vampire girl. Anyway, he will take it. She will have the names taken, and I will have them sent to the chief with the basic description. She is currently down in the south, looking for a part of the statue among the old dwarven mine.
I'll make a mental note of that.
But after that, she'll, say, it's best you be on your way. It'll be dark soon, and then you can't go anywhere. And I thought when you guys realize you've emerged, you're not really sure how long it's been, but, it should not have been daylight, but it is, it is getting close. You do see the sun will probably be setting the next couple of hours. You should be able to make it to Weaver Hollow before dark if you guys go there now.
I think our next movement should be towards after we get the child settled and spend the eve at Weaver's Hollow. I think we should head back to Outskirt for resupply.
Agreed. I need to talk to the old wizard there.
Okay, we have several other leads too. I've been transcribing them, so if you want to go directly to one, we can.
Nope. Outskirts sounds good to me.
Okay.
You don't need to go, actually, you're thinking you have to go around the whole entire large hill or hill complex in order to find miserable beast, but for some odd reason, it's sitting not too far on the road from the orc fortress. Apparently, it's eaten some berries or something. You don't know.
Mouth suspiciously red.
deep red berries.
So Malcolm, can I hop in here for half a second?
Yes, I withdraw.
So you're approaching Miserable Beast, and he's chewing on something, and he kind of looks up at you. It kind of looks disinterested, and then sticks his head up and around again, and stares at you all very intently, and then starts braying loudly and charging at the party. And he kind of goes past Brains and Sigan and runs straight into Darg and headbutts him straight in the chest. And then knocks him down and then lays on top of him. Now, Darg, you do not know this donkey.
What happened to the baby?
I do not know this donkey.
Well, I guess he wasn't carrying him anymore
Right.
because he's around the cave. So
Is he laying on him in a friendly struggle sort of way?
Oh, can I breathe?
It is a little bit hard to breathe, but then it kind of gets up and gets off you.
did we check it for cultist markings? I mean, the Darg.
Maybe he bathes in turnip water. I don't know.
He'll stare at this thing and go, "You have a strange greeting, beast."
And lesions.
The tales of Hill of Darg are true. He sure does get that ass.
But then he kind of looks at you, kind of cocks his head sideways, and then shakes his head and bites you on the thigh, turns and walks away.
Ah, what a miserable beast.
I think he likes you.
Is this your animal?
Well, it's kind of
He didn't fuck or kill you, so he must like you.
yeah, there's that.
I wouldn't say he's ours.
He's ours. He just sort of he's been cooperative with our movements around the country, around the valley so far.
He's been going where we've been going.
Yeah.
And
It's
he's
a
been
mobile
carrying stuff for
turnip
us.
Processing unit that sometimes we occasionally put stuff on.
Guys, he seems to have a lot less turnips than he had before.
I can't imagine anything taking them from him.
Me neither. It's going to be a horrible gassy night.
I'll walk in front.
So are you guys heading to the town or
Back to
or
Weaver's
the
Hollow.
next town?
Yeah,
We're going to head back to
Weaver's Hollow.
Yeah, we have to Weaver's Hollow. At least that's so we can sort of, if you're okay, Nathan, I can
Yeah.
just wrap this up.
Yep.
So you return back to Weaver's Hollow with Rory and his parents, Andros and Muir, are thrilled. Your half brother,
Yep.
Andros, is thrilled that you brought him back, and is grateful to all of you for all you've done. He doesn't have much, but he can give you 6 silver coins and some wool, but it's kind of like
I will
give
actually.
you a bolt of wool and some silver coins. It's like,
I will actually hand him back the silver coins and say, "Take it. Your village may need it in the days and weeks to come." I won't say why.
oh,
Owing to the lack of
I'm
the
so-
oracle that we've killed.
I'm so glad that I'm so glad that you're doing. We it took our sacrifice to the oracle cave, but she did not collect it, so we believe that she must be away. And after all, we normally come during certain times, and so it's kind of unfortunate. But we're just glad that you're able to help.
You might want to keep that bolt of wool too. Our donkey is apparently quite fond of it. Look away, child. Look away.
We call it died.
Puts his hand over the child's eyes.
Just take.
It's just being friendly.
He's very friendly, like he was with Uncle Darg, but stickier. Anyway, he goes off, and his brother, takes him inside to eat and so forth. Is very thrilled and happy. As far as the weirding woman that you met earlier, Quiverwing, she's sitting outside her hut, sort of just staring at the whole group of you. You shake your head at her. She sort of nods understandings and turns back and goes inside the hut. Closing the door.
So as they're getting ready to leave, I'll thank them and say I had a great time. This was a good time adventuring with you. It
was a
seems to
pleasure
me
having
that you
you
are
on.
going somewhere important, but sadly, there's much work to do here in the village. With the oracle gone, people will need help. So I will stay and help them through these troubling times. But maybe our paths will meet again, good adventurers. But for now, I shall take my spoils of war, of valor, and I shall relax with whores and soup. Good day to you.
Thank you, strange cave person.
I checked my pouch for.
Yes, you do. Check your jerky stores.
Yes.
There is a shout.
The jerky
from your,
stores are quite full.
Okay. And your sister-in-law screams, shouts from the hut, "Doug, your bath is ready."
Yes, it is.
You don't know why, but every single time you come here, they're always asking if you want a bath. They're always preparing a bath for you.
They're always begging you to take a bath.
They're always like, "Look, there's a bath ready."
Huh.
What are the odds?
They bathe as a family. It's very strange.
Please, walk through this mist of perfume.
This is the last kindness that I can give you until the next adventure I run. You arrive safely in outskirts.
Woo, fast travel.
Days later, without incident.
Nice.
Matt, it was great to have you
It was
part of this.
fantastic having
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank
We
you
hope
very
to
much.
back on for a few
And
weeks.
thank you,
Yeah,
Nathan,
back,
for this episode.
Yeah.
And also Malcolm.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is
one
probably
running
one
the
of the
adventure.
best run episodes I've ever done. I take full responsibility.
I'm at the 2-second segment with the beast, and that was
For the best cameo GM.
Great
All right.
times.
Should we say goodnight for the?
Yeah, can everyone like,
Good night,
subscribe,
everyone.
buy
Everybody.
merch.
Take it,
And-
take
See you
it,
at PAX
take it.
Unplugged.
Well,
Yes,
by
and
the time they hear this, of
PAX
course.
Unplugged 2024.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let's see, and I'm sorry, Malcolm has just had a brain freeze.
You
And,
smell toast.
No, I don't. Um,
This is the life essence that I just took from those spiders. I'm now giving it to you.
creepy. And sticky.
I'd like to ask Nathan in this downtime when he's going to the EDM concert that he is dressed for.
Laura won't let me turn the heat on.
Oh,
That sounds about right.
Hi, this is Matt, the co-host of the Advanced Age Role-Playing Gamers podcast, and you've been listening to our latest actual play, Mirth, Magic, and Mayhem, using the Dragonbane TTRPG from Free League Publishing, based on the classic Swedish role-playing game Drakar Demoner. If you like what you hear, please follow, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and anywhere else you find podcasts. We also really appreciate feedback and chatting with folks, so feel free to tweet us, comment on our YouTube, or leave us a review so we can reach even more people. You can also visit our website at www.theaarpgs.com, where you can read more about the cast, listen to old episodes, and even shop our store for cool geek chic merchandise. This story features Malcolm and Nathan as co-GMs. Malcolm will also be playing the role of Karin, a halfling bard. Nathan will be playing the role of Brains, a wolfkin thief. Our players for this story are Tyr as Dane Ringson, a human scholar. Sean as Baelor Banefire, a dwarven smith. Chris as Sigyn, an elven huntress. Anthony as Corrigan Stonehammer, a halfling fighter. And Tim as Quiverring, the Mallard Mage. Character artwork created by Nemesis to Anthony Cupo and friend of the show, Jody P. Schaefer, whose work you may recognize from Metacopolis, Marikari, Megas XLR, and MTV's Downtown. Contact him when the time is right. You'll know how and when. Music licensed through Dark Fantasy Studios and SoundCube. Sound effects by Nathan, using Kronos Weaponizer, Studio, and Dehumanizer, using libraries from Boom Library, SoundCube, Kronos, and his own recordings. So thank you again for taking time to sit down with us at our gaming table. And until next time, remember, you're never too old to roll.